to stay away, huh? Welcome back to another episode of Lord of the Rings with me, your host, Gabriel Phoenix! And we got enough action-packed day for you. Stay and enjoy the show. And make sure to take notes. Because today we're talking about how to be evil. And how to be so good at it. Well, we all can enjoy ourselves.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your host, Gabriel Phoenix. And yes, I am super happy to see everybody here. We did a couple of things. As you can see, I'm having such a wonderful time. It's a little weird on the lighting. Let me see if I can fix that. Oh, there you go. Got to get everything back in order here. Yeah, folks, thank you so much for watching. I know everybody's been waiting for this, for us to come back in here, do what we got to do. You know, it's been 100% wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Like I told everybody, we're going to be starting on Monday. We're going to do Lord of the Rings. We're going to start doing the Lord of the Rings, and I got great tips for you. And it's going to be one hell of a show. I'm really excited to come back and give you guys some action-packed days ahead of you. So, let's get right into it, shall we? All right. But before, I got some great announcements. Before we continue on, I just want to say this video is sponsored by Bluestacks. That's right, guys. We did it. We got our first sponsor. There you go, Bluestacks. Now, what is Bluestacks? Bluestack is an emulator that helps you play on your PC mobile games. But Gabriel, I have my phone to play those mobile games. Well, listen here. If you're a true hardcore gamer, not only you're going to play on your PC, but you're also going to play on your phone another game. You can do 2 games at once. I mean, come on, what's better than that? Playing 2 games at once. And not only that, you ever get those times when you're texting, you know, your loved ones or your friends, and they keep bothering your gameplay? That's what BlueStacks is for. You're going to jump on there and download. And what's great, too, is that the Lord of the Rings is on BlueStacks as well. So make sure to follow directly down into my description. The link is there. You guys can download BlueStacks as well as get in the Lord of the Rings. And let me tell you guys, it's gonna be a lot of fun today. We're gonna show you some wonderful things. Thank you, BlueStacks, for sponsoring this video. Now let's continue on with the show. Boom, enter in here. As you know, I am no longer good. I am evil. I have gotten into this, and I'm so good at being evil. I know the voiceover, and my whole entire body is back to normal, but somehow I can't shake it out of me. So, let's go on to the beginner guide for the evil faction. But wait, Gabriel, wait. Didn't you do a beginner guide before? Yes, and it was on the good faction for Gondor. After playing with the evil faction, I realized there is a big difference. And let me tell you guys this. There is a huge difference in playing evil and playing good. I was baffled about how much you have to change your strategy as an evil faction. I was like, you know what? Let me create a good tip video for everyone to do for evil factions. So, for your evil faction here, you're going to find a place that is going to be just starting off at random. I'm gonna give you a heads up. If you're gonna play the evil faction, prepare to fight early on. Let me tell you, you do not get a break. If you look on this map, there is war everywhere. Angmar has literally been pushed into there. Isengard has lost a lot of land. Mordor is constantly fighting. Rohan is constantly being pushed into there. I think I said everything right. If I don't, I know you guys are going to put it on the comments. I do read them. So, anyways, when you guys get down into it and you're going to be an evil faction, prepare yourself right out of the gate. It is important to know what units to start off with to make you better. Now, just to let everybody know, we do all start off with different units and different tier 4. So let's get into it, and I'll go into every single faction. But before I go, let me collect my money here. Gotta love my money. Reset all that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the quarters. If you play Angmar, you're gonna start off with the northern quarters, which is gonna be the Orc Slingers, the Scout layers, the Stalker layer. The Stalker layer, and your tier 4 is gonna be the Fallen Knights. The Fallen Knights layer is your specialty. If you're starting off in Mordor, Mordor, you're gonna be using the Mongol quarters. Pretty much it's gonna be on your Crushers is gonna be 2-3. You got your Riders and you got your Trolls, as well as if you're in Rohan, you're going to be starting off with the eastern quarters, and your things are going to be the Hellburner. I think I'm saying that right. Hellbarners? I think that is how you say it. Anyways, let's go to the Skirmishers. We're going to call it the Skirmishers. The Skirmishers, and you're going to get also the Mercenaries, and you're going to start off with the Pirates that turns into the Corsairs. For people in Isengard, you're going to be on the Uric quarters. This is actually, Isengard actually has a really good start with their units. It's pretty good because they get the mixture of the power, which they're going to start with the Berserkers. You're going to have the Alchemists. The Alchemists are pretty good. And you're going to get the Snipers. Like, those are the pretty much decent. Now, of course, everyone's going to say, but Gabriel, you can use any unit you want out of all this. Just everybody gets different tier 4s. The tier 4s, I'm not going to spoil which tier 4 that you get in each faction. They are truly wonderful. That's something that you have to play as a player to try to unlock them. But I will tell you, Angmar is the Fallen. The Fallen, man, these units are really good. They do an excellent job. Very tough, hit hard, and they are fast. They are super fast. So this is something that if you're part of Angmar, those are the units you're going to want to get. So let's go into what you need, your necessity, how to start off, what to do, and how to particular go about this. So I feel when you're in Angmar, you do start with something more of an advantage early game. When you're going and get your lands, right? Usually, like I told you before, you build the square, you start expanding outwards, and then you start getting your pieces, you start collecting your lands. That's what I originally say. It's a little different here. What you want to do is you want to focus on wood and you want to focus on stone. Wood and stone is used heavily. Wood is so used heavily in evil factions that when I was remembering when I was back in Gundor, we didn't use wood that much. We use a lot of ore and a lot of stone, but here we're using tons of wood. Yes, there are certain units that will use ore more, or iron. We're just going to call it iron because that's what I called it before. There's tons of units that are going to be using wood majority of the time in the beginning, you're going to be doing so much trying to get wood. So my biggest recommendation is start going into the forests. Start getting those lower forests, level 10, level 40, going into the higher forests in the level 90s. When I say level, I mean power level, of course. That's what I'm saying. So people who are out there like, well, what do you mean levels? These are power levels. That's what that little soul thing looks like. So when you're going in there, you want to start doing those woods, getting your stone, focusing, of course, on your grain last. Why is that? Because when you start doing this game and you're doing your main task, like you see, I completed my whole main task. When you're completing your main task, you're going to be able to get extra troops very easily. You're going to be able to get your resources to build other buildings, everything like that. And majority of the time, they do give you grain and you're not going to use it as much. Now, as a beginning player, I'm going to tell you this. Do not go to war as quickly as people want to tend. If you're on a border of a good nation, automatically try to find your way, get into an alliance to get their shop. Once they're level 10, a level 10 alliance, to get in their shop, buy a relocation. You get one free and move yourself away from that border. You will notice how quickly somebody is going to cross you and really try to start war with you on your borders. Like these border things, you want to really go push yourself. And even here, I'm constantly moving as an evil faction. I'm moving from one spot to another spot. I never stay in one spot too long. It's just how it is. They're constantly going to be pushing you. I'm just going to let you know it is. If you're thinking of good as easy mode, evil faction is like playing hard mode, or even in some people, for such as like Agmar, it's like playing extreme difficulty. The level of difficulty it is crazy. I didn't know when I first got in here. I took it easy, playing like I usually do, and then boom, I get alerts. Somebody's attacking my land, somebody's doing this, and it wasn't my own faction, it was somebody else, and I had to okay, I need to get sharp, I need to do this, I need to be quick, I need to be going forward, what I need to do. It's like playing this game on difficulty. It really is. Gundor was easy. The land was big. I didn't have to worry. I could build up. I could do it. I could spread out. But here, trying to farm and trying to level up is the most hardest thing to do. Evil factions, I now pity you. Because, man, if this thing is so tough. If you don't have alliances, man, you're going to get crushed. And I'll tell you what, the first people to learn that was Isengard. So many people hate Isengard. They're just not loved. I mean, look at that death cow. Look at the death cow. Just surrounding. Even Isengard's not even fighting. It's Rohan and Lindol. They're not even fighting. And look at that death cow. It's a 315,000. 100,000 people dying in Isengard that have no business in being Isengard. It's just how it is, folks. It's just how it is. So back to the tips. I really recommend you going after the wood first if you're an Agmar, or if you have the capabilities of building first. This unit is one of the best starting units, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's go back into our buildings. Let's go to the North quarters. The Orc Slinger Camp. This unit is absolutely the best unit all the way up to 130. This unit alone can make you be accelerated as quickly as possible. Reason 4, because after you unlock tier 2, which you don't really need if you're not going to use this unit, just stick to tier 2, my friends. Stick to tier 2. You're not going to need tier 3. It's only if you want to continue to push forward. I maxed them out because I really did enjoy them, and I used them for a very long time so I can farm and get to certain levels. But this Orc Crossbow, let's look at this unit real quick. Let's go in my army. This Orc Crossbow is ridiculous for a starting unit. Where are you? Right here. Reason being, it doubles the attack. You get that unit, boost that unit with gold all the way up to 70. Be done with it. Just keep doing that. Use this unit to conquer land after land. And let me tell you, once you get to 130, you're going to start, tapering up. But at that time, depending on what faction you have, you're going to start focusing on other units, stronger units, everything. But this unit, let me tell you, it shreds. It shreds through land. You barely lose anything because this thing is double attacking early game. It's going to be double attacking from 14 to 30 damage max. Early game, that is really good. Most of the units have about 10, 20 defense. So when you, and their HP, look, 26, but it's going to be like about 15 to 30. So you're killing them super quick. This thing is ridiculously good. I've seen it tear through it. It's a wonderful unit for early game gameplay to level up and to get ahead of everyone else. I highly recommend this unit. The Orc Crossbow men are really good. Another great unit that a lot of people don't really understand is Tracker. Tracker is another great unit to strive for. This unit right here is gonna, not only does it has reduced damage, but it also has seek a target with the lowest attack. Now, when you're playing the evil faction, unfortunately, a lot of the lands have archers. It's annoying. They have archers. They have mounted archers. They have, for some weird reason, they love putting in dwarves and elves. In Agmar, I don't know about the other factions, but in Agmar, it's 100% mostly elves and dwarves, archers, or mounted them. This unit right here, delicious. It will annihilate archers in a drop of the hat. It is a really great one to use early game to able to get where you need to get going. That is what I got to tell you. That's one of the best beginner tips I got to say. And guess what? They're super cheap. Very easy to get. They're going to be in two factions starting off. So Agmar and definitely Mordor will be able to get that because they do share the scout layer with Agmar's. It does share it as well as Mordor with the scout layer right here. You get that, of course, right there. Now, I think this is the biggest mistake I made, and I learned and I understand. Don't rush trolls. I like trolls, mountain trolls, and regular trolls. I thought they would be a lot better, but they are super expensive. You don't get a lot of them, and they die quicker. So when you're farming, and this is something I wish when I was doing this, I wish I didn't do at all, was get the trolls, and I just focus on getting to tier 3 riders and getting to tier 3 of the slingers, and really getting the game faster where I need it to be. But I wasted my time with trolls early on. They are good siege units. If you're gonna siege a city, I highly recommend them. If later they are good for late game as well when you're PvPing against high level guys. These trolls, they really do work a lot on that. But as far as going to farm land and building up as a new player, I don't recommend them at all. It's gonna, one, slow your marching speed. Man, these things, they make your marching speed so slow. I'm talking about something that usually takes 5 minutes. You're gonna double your speed in 10 minutes. They make you so slow. I don't recommend them starting off as new players. They will slow you down. That right there is a big no-no. I don't recommend that. I definitely recommend doing the scout layer though. Man, those things are super fast. So if it takes 5 minutes, it takes 2.5 minutes to get to areas. One of the biggest things that you really will like is fast units or the double attackers early on games. They work superiorly well. As far as Rohan goes, I would, to be honest with you, I would stick with the mercenary camp. I know some people, they love the skirmishers. They're good. They do have good damage, good HP, good against mount units. But tier 2, they're not as good for farming land because of this main thing right here. When this unit is attacking land and it gains resources, right? And it's gaining resources, it does it quicker. The speed on it is much quicker. It's able to do it, and you're able to get the resources faster. So this unit right here, which is the tier 2 of the mercenaries called the Marauders, those units are perfect to farm, and they're not that expensive. Yes, they're not as cheap, but if you're looking at tier 2 here, and you have tier 2 here, you're getting Red Book resources from Red Book. You're getting resources from your main task. You don't have to really worry that much, and your units are not going to die as much. You're going to use your treatment camp a lot to restore your units, so in the beginning you're not going to cast a lot. What you want to do as a new player, you want to get your keep, your main hall, your main city to level 6. Same advice I gave in the last beginner guide I did for Gundor. Same, it's very same. So when you go in there, you're going to want to get your main city to level 6. You want to, of course, boost up that conscription post. That's how you're going to level up. But here's the difference. You're going to level up your lumbar to level 10. You're going to level up your stone to level 10. All those you're going to level up as much as you can. Your ore, depending on what faction you are, I know with, I think it's Rohan, they need more ore. They need more iron for that. You might need to level up that more. But like again, do your grains last. How you doing, Snow? How you going on there? Bro, my commander's on level 10. I've been on and off. Not good, man. Not good. You gotta level that up. So back to what I was saying right here. You want to make sure you get your lumber camps, your lumber tributes, and your stone tributes as much as you can, as well as getting your market to level 1. It's going to help you in the long run. Market is one of the most useful tools in here. You don't really worry about your storage. Get it to level 10. Once you reach to, I believe it's like main city 7 or 8, you're going to have to level your storage up to level 15. Yes, I can talk about the evil commanders. I am going to go into that. I do got a lot of surprises for everybody, but I will go into some evil commanders as well. So I just wanted to get over that point right there on here, is that's exactly what you folks want to be able to do. Start it off. If you're in Agmar, get your slinger camps. It's going to be super quick. You're going to level up really fast. You're going to get your resources really fast. It's really a really big advantage for Agmar that they have the slinger camp early on and they get that. But for people who don't have them, get your scout layer, get those trackers. These trackers are amazing. They do wonderful, really great. And Rohan, you're going to probably stick with your mercenaries. Your mercenaries are really some of the best ones on there. And that's what it is. Now, we're talking about beginner advice. We'll talk about the commander stat, the training camps, and everything like that. We'll go into that. Another thing that you're going to always remember, of course, always collect your power. Now, this is the biggest difference. This is the biggest difference from a good faction to a evil faction. Because you're an evil faction, always expect you're going to be at war. You're going to be fighting. You're going to need, starting off, you're going to need focus damage. You're going to need speed for your commander. You're going to need marching speed. You're going to need power is probably the last thing you'll need. Physical attack. Most of the commanders in evil factions are actually based on higher damage and they multiply damage on top. We'll go in that in a moment. Yeah, but you really want to go into against, this is one of your best ones in the beginning. I would recommend, if you do this, is focus damage is number 1, commander speed is number 2, getting your power sweep is number 3. After your power sweep, go into your marching speed. Then when you get into a higher level, go into your conscription time, and then go into your physical power. Don't worry about your EXP. Oh, by the way, I made a mistake. First thing you want to do is actually get your control, then go into the order I told you: focus damage, speed, sweeping, then go into your stamina. You're gonna need that, and then you're gonna go into your marching speed, and then abundant power last. That will be the proper order. I'm gonna explain that in a little bit. Because you're always fighting and you're always at risk of somebody attacking you in the evil faction, you're gonna need those ring powers sooner than when you are a good faction. That's just the biggest advantage. When you're part of the good faction, you're gonna actually just focus on your resources and your EXP gains, and you're gonna be able to gain so much and so much of a difference that it's gonna be helping you out in the long run. And that right there is just the biggest thing. It's one of the things, as you can hear, my dog's always barking and interrupting, but I love them. You know, I'm a dog person, so that's how it is. So that's the biggest thing you want to keep in mind, is that, hey, you're going to have to prepare for war early. And it's early on game, and it kind of does suck for you as an evil faction. But I will say this: your commanders are really good. So let's go into the commanders here. Best starting commanders. I see a lot of people asking, I see a lot of people wondering. They saw a couple of things in there. So let's go into the commanders. Best starting commander right here. I'm going to try to pronounce his name. It's Azok. I think that's how you pronounce it. I know I'm probably going to get that wrong. He is one of the best commanders you can have. Now, when you start the game, you want to focus on one commander. Remember I told you you're getting lands with those units. You're focusing on one commander. Your one commanders. All your other commanders that you get besides the one are going to focus in on gathering. Tavern tips that you're going to do daily. And they're gonna just focus and just have the minimal units, like only like 100 units of like regular archers that they give you or whatever. But he is one of the best. Let's go into him. Let's talk about what exactly he can do as far as his stat base goes. Now, I set him up doing more damage. I know you can set him up with himself. He can damage while attacking, and then you can deal physical damage to the next receive. But I did more focus damage. Reason why I did more focus damage for me, and it's very important, is because of oath breakers. Oath breakers versing anything will just shut you down unless you have high focus damage. Another reason why I do focus damage is because there's no units that I know of that stops focus damage. There's no regular units that stop focus damage. There's a lot of units that stop physical damage. A lot of units that stop physical damage. So I built him applying amazing amount of focus damage. So I did that, max it out, he got a boast. I did this as well, just unlock one on him, and then I did this one. This one is it targets 2 enemies. It's gonna deal a maximum amount of damage of 150% focus damage, and they cannot recover HP for 1 turn, which is absolutely demolishing for our opponent. It won't be able to heal. He's a really good starting, and if you do get him to rank 3, you're going to be able to get and unlock this little bad boy, which is, it's going to deal 180 physical damage, but it continues for 2 turns. It's really amazing. I just did this once. He can inflict bleeding. That's going to affect on physical damage, as well as he's going to put at this. I think I'm going to level this one up max, which is called Weapon Expertise, where he actually gains 50% chance of gaining damage that are higher, and I think it goes higher once you get up to the maxer level. I think it's about maybe 70%. I don't know, I haven't locked it all the way. It's on level 2. We're going to see about going to level 7. Another thing here is called Mountain Warriors. Mountain Warriors is something on a level 5. It's not really needed. I just unlocked it to see how it is. I'm going to be resetting this as well. I don't think his tier 5 is as necessary to unlock. I just did it to see how it was and to see what kind of moves it was and what it locks and to see really what kind of power level it is. But he is one of the best starting commanders in the game. Another great starting commander that if you want to use is another great starting commander here is going to be, I'm going to try to pronounce this as proper as I can, is going to be Uthak. I think that's how you say it, Uthaks. He's the guy that's the red, kind of like mixture of the hybrid of the orcs. He's another good one as well. Main reason why I like him, he is just a powerhouse. He has burn damage, really effective against high HP units, especially units that stop physical damage. The burn damage is just going to be ridiculous. When you max out his first Syrian axe, it's going to increase the trigger chance of burn damage being applied, which is wonderful. I wouldn't really unlock the Brawler. I don't think it's that useful damage against melee units. The reason why most melee units have physical damage reduction, and it's not going to be really that good against those type of units. You may want to do this one, Scorch. It's one of the ones that I'm going to probably be maxing out. I'm still trying to kind of decide because this guy has amazing utility. Let me tell you, the kind of utility that this guy has is really ridiculous as a starting unit. His really core mechanics and his base mechanics on this is something to be really in awe, because not only does he has burn damage, but he also has buffs. His elite, his Uric High Elite is just amazing. It increases his speed, it increases his might, and max it increases his speed by 15. I mean, most of the other time, commanders, they'll buff one stat and then kind of give you like a negative on another stat. But this guy, no, he actually boosts all the way. Really good, solid starting off. And what's great is he has a amazing heal called Uric High Captain. He is actually able to recover HP after damaging. Now, after dealing damage, he is able to recover. That is insanely good. That right there is amazing. His fifth one, which is Warlord, it depends. I see it more useful if you're playing Mordor. You're going to be using a lot of orcs and Urikai. It's just something you're going to be doing a lot. And his dangerous trade, I don't think it's really good. I don't really like it that much. His pursuer, again, if you want to pursue in physical damage, you could do that. But again, there is a lot of good allies on the good faction commanders that reduce physical damage a lot. That's why I focus heavily on focus damage, burn damage, and status damage. It's just one of those things that are going to be crazy good. Crazy good. So let's go into some epic heroes. I don't want to discuss all of it because we're going to go into some in a future video. Let's go into some good epic heroes. One of the best epic heroes that you get for $1 is right here. Now this guy right here is Kahamol. Kahamol, I think that's how you say it. Or Kamal? I think it's Kamal. I think that's how you properly pronounce it. I'm going to try to do my best again. Sorry for my pronunciation. But Kamal, he's one of the best Witch King's underlings and also one of the servants of course, of the great Dark King, Sauron. But he is amazing. He's one of the kings of Ogmars that was, perished and everything. He is truly one of the best epics you can use in the game, starting off that the game gives you for $1. I highly recommend you using him. My build that I like to use, like I said, I went pure damage with him, and he does amazing. He slices and dices, he destroys, he incinerates, he goes all over the place. He is just so good. So good. I level up max his Shadow of the East, which is automatically going to give him a prioritize target with the highest defense, because we're going to do focus damage and we're going to do burn. And guess what? Doesn't matter how high a defense you have, those are automatically going to pierce through your defense and destroy that unit automatically. I give him max on poison damage, so when he's against round 1, starting round 1, it's going to deal 150% of poison damage, which uses focus damage, by the way, for people who don't understand. Status abilities such as burn, poison, I think there's one more. They themselves are gonna pretty much go in there, attack them and deal a lot of damage, and it's gonna stack up on focus damage. That's what you need. So the more focus damage you have, hey John, how you doing? The more focus damage you have, the more that it's gonna be able to affect on that. Here's another one. This is called Ring Wraith. Ring Wraith is amazing. If you're building him as a focus dealer, you want to have Ring Wraith, because Ring Wraith is going to increase his burn. It's going to increase his poison. It's going to increase that focus damage, and it's going to give you more focus to give to that damage. That right there, folks, is an amazing skill. And boom, you want to put the Morgul poison. Of course, that was affecting Frodo. Because it allows all normal attacks to inflict poison continuously. Talking about bonkers. That, my friend, is ridiculous. And you got, of course, the Screech. The ability to inflict stun. I am maxing this out once we get to level 50 with him. We're still working on that. And this right here is gonna be so amazing. This right here is a fully stun. It is one of the things that are really great to do. I would recommend maxing out. This is how I build them. Tier 5, not really needed. Like I said before, if you have focus damage and you're focusing on burn, there's no really need to decrease defense. There's really no point to decrease it. It doesn't do anything. The speed debuff may be useful, and the immune to madness, that's only really good if you're facing like other evil factions, which in this game barely happens, because let me tell you, we are too far apart from each other. But that's how it is, you know. You can't change the map of the lore. No way. So so it's pretty much useless. The Black Rider, don't even want to use it. Now, the second best epic, in my opinion, is Shadow. My God, this guy is amazing. He is totally 100% a brute. So, if you're going to be a beginner player and you're able to do it, I think in the new servers they give you, when you get to a certain step, you get to unlock chests. Pull from that chest. It's like the Witch King, all of the Agmar servants. Pull on that chest. Get this guy. He is a beast. This guy is incredibly good. Not only he's going to deal physical, but also focus damage. This guy does AoE damage. He spreads that damage all around. Boom, with the Undertaker. It just makes it better. And look at that max skill. It is inflicting poison damage with normal attacks. That's right. So if you're doing normal attacks to everybody, you're poisoning them all. There's no one escaping from that guy. I am telling you, it is something incredible. It is something that is so amazing. And look at that delayed plague as well. Just a level 1 right there. And another plague. That's right there. Those are really good skills. Just put a 1 of. Boom. Get right there. They cannot recover. But here's another thing. You make that normal attack inflict 150% of focus damage. Remember what I said before? That poison counts on focus. If you have high focus on a poison attacker and you're dealing poison damage plus you're dealing additional focus damage, you're getting triple the effect, triple the action, triple the fun. As well as you see, the Dark Mantle is okay. It does give physical damage received by Enemies a plus on physical, but like I said, most good factions do reduce physical damage. So physical damage for an evil faction is pretty hard to deal. It's why one of the biggest advantage of the good faction is that they can reduce damage for physical so much. They just have a hard time reducing focus damage. Dwarves, they have some units that can do that, but it's not as good. Not as good. Here's another one. This is called Black Arts. This, my friend, is really good. It's something really incredible. Now, I will tell you what I'm building on him after I go through his skills. And I'm going to explain the kind of build I'm doing. Right here is the same thing as the other guy that we just talked about. Shadow also is able to use Ring Wraith, which will increase the poison damage and focus damage. Now remember, he does poison and focus damage with his two abilities automatically. So by combining it, you don't even need to do these blue ones here. I mean, these are just extra additional perks. I'm actually going to reduce this and take Dark Mantle out and start spreading out. I didn't think I was going to be able to get him to a 5 or a 3, but I did. So I'm working on a 5, but I did get him to a 3, and now it changed my whole thought process of how to build him. So when you're doing Ring Wraith with his combination, you're giving extra damage, not only the poison, but focus damage on one attack. One attack is doing double the, or well, whatever highest percentage on it. It's probably about 25%, 25 or 30% on this. It is going to deal that much percentage and more. That is insanely good. Now, this is each round normal attacks inflicts 10% poison continuous. That's not really needed because of his Undertaker. His Undertaker automatically gives him poison. I don't recommend getting it unless you really want to build him a poison build. And the Screech is good for him, but at the same time, there is a better on his level 5, and that is right here. He has the chance to attack twice. Folks, can I say, can I get a wow? A chance to attack twice. A chance to attack twice. So you're saying every time he attacks normally, he does an AoE. All of those. How much fallen you have now? I have too much fallen. I burned a lot of them. So he does an AoE attack. It does focus damage and poison damage. So you're saying he attacks again, he's able to do an AoE and poison and focus damage again? Wow! I need to get this guy level rank 5 immediately. That's why I was like, oh my god, it's so good. That I don't care. Weakness is not really that big a difference, and lower defense is not a big a difference. I will be building him like this. I will be building him with just this here, maxing that out. That will bring me out to about 1530. I think that's also 15, so that'll be 45, and then I'll put 5 on the Ring Wraith, because at that moment you're going to be boosting. I will actually do. No, I think I would just take all his things and just focus on his main skills, because they're just amazing. They're really just amazing. I mean, he's one of the best epics out there in the evil faction. So now I know everyone. Let's talk about some legendaries. All right, the best legendary is Sauron himself. He is so good. I am not gonna lie to you. He is really overpowered. He is incredible. If you get lucky to get him, he's one of the hardest characters to get. Him and Witch Kings are the two best ones. I don't have Witch King. I wasn't able to get him. I'm a little upset with it, but it's okay. I'm gonna move on with it. I'm gonna move on. But Sauron was a special gift. And you know what, guys? I didn't get him with gifts. I got an invitation. I got so lucky. I got him through an invitation. I let that sink in for a moment. But let's go talk about it. This guy is a focus damage beast. He is insanely good. I'm working on getting him level 40. He is insanely good. If you, as a new player, gets lucky to get him, he is something that you really want to do. You really want to be able to get him on your team. Not only does he does additional focus damage, but he maxed out for his first skill plus 20 focus. Second skill, most broken skill there is, and it is on another character in a good faction, Lord of Gifts. 30% boost on all equipment on him. 30% boost. A 30% boost plus a max 20 focus. You're talking about already 40, not including the bonus from the equipment. The 40 focus immediately for maxing out. That is ridiculous. Then you got this, baby. Can deal against two enemy, deal almost 100% focus damage, which is ridiculous. Here's another one. This does more focus damage again against two enemies. Ridiculous. You have, of course, this Ring of Terror is okay. I'm not a big fan of Madness. There's a lot of characters a lot of units that have immune to madness, a lot of commanders that have immune to madness. It's a good when it happens, but it's most of the time it doesn't work. Now here's another good one as well. If I do get them to rank 3, I don't know if I'm able to. It's very hard to get these characters to rank higher than 1, but he gets another plus 20, another plus 20. Focus, and his focus damage received by the enemy, all enemies get a boost as well. Talk about a machine. This guy is just crazy. Here's another focus damage ability. Overlord is another it's another ability that makes them receive more focus damage. The enemy, I don't really care about the enemy. It's not really, it's just not. And then there is this Dazzle, which is a stun for 2 rounds, which is really good. And then Confusion. His tier 5, to me, is not really worth it. I wouldn't do it. But yeah. So folks, that's exactly what I recommend for the commanders. I will be going more into them in another video. And we'll go more into builds, what type of equipment to build on them. This is more for beginner tips for the evil factions. Like I said, you really want to be able to boost your defense up. Use your units. Your tier 2s are some of your best units you can have early game. Make sure to get a lot of wood. Wood and stone is your most important. If you have, I think it's one of the factions they use more ore than woods. I think it's Rohan. It's those are the other ones that you really want to be able to get to make those units. And yeah, it's just prepare yourself for war. It's one of the things so you're going to focus on, this is the biggest tip I'm going to give to somebody. You're going to focus on one commander taking the land, and then the way how you train your other commanders, you're going to have them here. Select on a map. Make sure you have your grain. It's not a lot of grain. It's about that much. You're going to go and you're going to train them with mock battle. Mock battle is going to be your friend. That's the one thing that you want to be able to do, is have your mock battle. Those are the most important things, how to train. Another thing you can do, and of course, I always recommend for everyone, one of the biggest help, if you do have the money for your pay-to-win players, for your free-to-play winning players, don't worry about it, is to get your monthly. Your monthly packs are going to be good. I recommend them. They do help a lot. You're going to be able to do that. Another thing, don't waste your time on construction queue. It is useless unless you're a whale and you're going to spend a lot of money and you're just throwing your money out there. Get this, but this is not worth it whatsoever. I don't recommend this. Another thing for the limited gift packs, don't bother with a GIF for Sauron or a GIF of any of the characters. They're not worth it. They're overpriced. There's another way of doing it. I'll explain that in another video about how to get gifts that you need for your commanders, because those are important parts for that. But it's another video. some of the biggest things that you can do is they do have good specials. Buy the gems. I would do one time of each gem and stop. There's no need to do any more than that because you do get double the gem for each purchase on this. They'll give you, if you do the $100, you get 46. That's worth it, of course, for that. But besides buying the normal ones, don't do that. What I would recommend if you're wanting to spend some more money on the game is wait for them to get you the Evil Overlord. It's like a $50 pack. They give you about, I think, 11,000, but it gives you gifts as well. It's a really awesome promotional deal on that. That's what I would recommend you buying as a newer player starting off. For your free-to-play players, what I would recommend doing when you get your special cases like this, if there's a commander in there, go ahead and pull. Do as much as you can to get the free. I think you're getting lose for the first epic, and then you get the shadow. Those are really worth it. Try to get those. For this one, Spark of Valor, not too worth it. To be honest with you, this right here, the exquisite chest, I think that's what you'll call it. Well, I'll just call it the legendary chest. The legendary chest, because the exquisite chest is the rare chest. But the legendary chests, they're not really worth it for your free-to-play players. I'm going to be honest with you. Stick with your rare treasures. I have gotten more stuff out of my rare treasure box, and it counts for your season pass too, for your pay-to-win players, and also your free-to-win players as well. We're going to go on that in a second. I highly recommend doing your rare treasures. You're going to get a lot more legendary equipment. You're going to get a lot more heroes or commanders that way. You're going to get a lot more gifts. You're going to get a lot more level up stuff. The rare treasure is where it's at. It's always going to be good because every time you do a 5 pull, you're automatically going to get an epic or you're going to get a legendary. I get a lot of legendaries in my pool. I've just been lucky that way. And you want to make sure there's a special commanders for you beginner players out there for free to win or also pay to win. You also want to make sure you're selecting the gift. Actually, I want to change this to this right here. This is what I want to do. Unequip. Equip that. Yes. What you want to do is you want to make sure your wish list is set for the items you want. Otherwise, you're going to get at least a likely chance to get that commander. I set mines, of course, for the Witch King, Shadow, Kamal, and also the Undying. And it's funny because I got Sauron. I got Sauron, and I didn't even mean to get him. So that's how I would recommend doing your commanders, your gifts. Besides that, just focus on your lands. Work on your lands. Go into your main city. Really focus on one type of unit. I'm a big believer on this. In the beginning, as a beginning player, stick with your quarters. Stick with the units that they're giving you. Use the best you can because they're going to be the easiest, fastest, and also you'll be able to level them up a lot easier because the quarter automatically gives you like tasks. They're going to automatically tell you to level up your main quarters anyways, so that way you can get those champions. Those are fine. If you want a lot of gold, just level up the quarters themselves. They will also give you production like grain, stone, wood. They will always give you production and gold, so leveling up quarters are worth it, even if you're not going to use those units. Level up the quarters. They do help you with that because they will make you be able to gain more resources. When you go into your build here, like I said, for Evil Faction, you want to make sure to level up your lumber all the way. get your stone up also as well as getting your ore. The reason why I have my ore level 20 and not my lumbar, because I'm using certain units that require a lot of iron. Like I'm using Fallens, I'm using Riders, I'm using Dragoons. They require a lot of iron and not a lot of wood, but if you're not using those units, you're going to use a lot of irons. Like your orcs, scouts, they're going to use a lot. Your trolls are going to use a lot. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, you got to like manage. Now we're going to go more into some advanced tips, more on some of these other ones, like how to like really peak up your commanders, how to make them PvP ready. That's on another video. We're not going to really go into that right now, but pretty much that's what you're going to do, folks. You know, work with one commander on your evil faction, and it makes sense because a lot of times in beta they say, well, Gabriel, this would be better if we did it like this, and I'm like, well, it doesn't really work that well with good factions, you know. And I didn't understand what it until I played the evil faction and realized there's a major difference between the two. It's a major different and very different way of playing, and honestly, your good factions are very easy for newer players who, you know, just love Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, and not really in the evil faction, or just newer players who don't know what Lord of the Rings are, that you guys lived under a rock or something, if you don't know what Lord of the Rings is. But but for those people who are new, or maybe you guys are just brand new, you're not in that age group or that generation that had Lord of the Rings out, then I would recommend you playing a good faction to actually start off. You're going to do a lot better because evil faction is hardcore mode. I'm going to be honest with you, its difficulty is hard. It's super up there. I mean, Mordor is probably, if you're going to be Mordor, maybe your difficulty level is going to be medium because you're so isolated and it's very easier to build up and everything. But definitely, if you're playing as Agmar or Rohan, or even Isengard is terrible as well. Agmar and Isengard is probably the two hardest factions to survive. I'm going to say that right now. A lot of people don't like Isengard when they fight them. They're usually the main target early game. Even in beta, that was a thing. So yeah, those are the two factions that if you want to play hardcore mode and you're into these type of games, that's what you want to start off with, is like, boom, get into Agmar, get into Isengard. You're going to have tons of fun. It's never stopping action pack. You're going to constantly fight. You're going to constantly be in battle. If you're looking for an evil faction that's a little bit less action, go into Mordor. If you're going to find one that's a little harder, Rohan, I feel kind of bad for Rohan because they took out the special units. For those, they used to have elephants in there, but they don't have elephants anymore, so I feel bad for them. Another thing is, for good factions, all good factions are easy mode. I don't think there's a single faction that's in good that's hard. I mean, even the new ones, like Lindel and Argnor, those two, they really have it very easy. Those two, there's nothing that you could really do on that. But yeah, those are what I would recommend doing if you're looking into that. For evil factions, you know, it's a tough battle. It's really, really exciting. I mean, I had been having a blast. I had to move my base 5 times. I had to move my base 5 times across the map. When I was in Gondor, I didn't even move it once. Another recommendation, don't get into politics in the game. People are very heavy in politics in the game. Now, I'm not talking about real world politics. No, I'm not talking about that. That would be easier. No, this is like Lord of the Rings politics, people. It gets pretty crazy, and just let leaders handle that. You know, don't worry about it. It can ruin the experience of the game. It's one of the things that I would highly recommend doing, is getting that going there. So let's just repeat a little bit what we said, And yeah, we'll call it an end for the beginning tip videos. So beginning tip videos, you want to focus on your wood and stone. If you have, it depends on what faction you are. If you're with Agmar, or if you have the capabilities of getting the Orc Slinger Camp, definitely level up to try to get your crossbowmen. They are the easiest way to win lands early game. Big advantage on there. If not, get your trackers. They are another way of winning. Your scouts are going to be your best things for the people who don't have access to them. Biggest thing you want to get is, of course, your brawlers. Your brawlers are going to be really good, as well as your berserkers when you're getting up to level 3, but level 2 is where you're going to probably be at. Great thing if you're not over that, you want to get into your mercenaries, into your marauders. Those right there are going to pretty much give you the game for resources and giving you the whole entire lands. For as far as unit buildings, when you're going into your unit factory, make sure to build a lot of wood and stone. For evil factions, you're going to be using that a lot more than if you were a good faction that's going to be using ores and as well as stone. Those are the things you want to do. Always level up your conscript. Get yourself to level 6. That will be a good starting. Don't worry about your storage. Storage should be a level 10 until you reach level 7 or 8. Then you'll be leveling up to about a level 13, and then we'll go on from that. Barracks, do as much as you can, of course. Grain is the last thing you should focus on. Not a really big deal. Unlock your market. That's going to be your best friend. Especially training resources that you're not using. Level up quarters if you need gold. You want to level up those main units right away. Helps you save time. Don't worry about making new units in the beginning. Don't try to start a war in the beginning. As growing, it's going to stump your growth. Complete your main task 100%. That's your main goal you want to do. That right there is going to help you get a whole bunch of resources. Complete your red book. You want to be able to do that. Get your red book going over there. Make sure to do your taverns. You're going to take your weaker, of course, you're going to take your weaker commanders to complete your taverns while you focus on your main commanders to do your other stuff as well. And pretty much as far as commanders go, do your best you can. I gave you a couple of pointers on that, but really, if you have a favorite commander that you prefer to use them. You know, it's going to help you out in the long run. And that right there is what you really want to be able to attain and really have a lot of fun. It's important to use the units and the commanders that you always have. You know, stay out of politics early in the game. Get into it later if you want to get a big leadership role. That's the biggest thing that you want to do. Get into an alliance. Make sure you get into your alliance, at least a level 10 alliance. Because when you get that store, the relocation spell will be your best friend. That's going to be your #1 best friend, is that relocation spell. And also, you'll be able to use these stone productions, wood production, all that stuff production. And you'll also have access to speeding up your tavern and being able to use that quickly. Pay to win players, I already told you guys the whole basic of how to use your gem. I highly recommend doing the season pass. It is well worth it. Your challenges are very easy, especially with your free to play players. This is where you're going to gain most of your gems and as well as your medals for the chests. Besides doing of course the main quest, make sure to do your events. That's something I'm going to add on to here. Make sure to do your events. You do get a lot of materials and resources from them. One of the biggest things there is, and that's how it is. You know, thank you guys for watching. That's pretty much all I got to say. It's been a lot of fun. I was explaining everything, and I hope this video helps you. Because I know my first video helped a lot of players and a good faction. So with this video, what you want to do is play this game as it is. Listen to the evil faction tips, play them, and I guarantee you're going to be up there. And soon you're going to see your first level 41 commander who has a power level of 65,000. Yes, my commander max out. He is at 65,000 when he's fully loaded, and he doesn't have to worry about anything else. So I hope everybody is really excited. I am going to start doing, there you go, 65,000 right there on a level 41, which is truly amazing. I hope everyone is really excited that I'm back into the Lord of the Rings doing videos. I will be doing videos once a week. We won't be doing as much as we did before. I still have to do Rise of Warlord because those people are awesome and I love the game. It's really a great time and the community there really deserves a lot of attention. Those are the things. Now, we are going to be doing a third, kind of like a third video, maybe on a random game or something. I haven't decided that yet, if it might be just another Rise of Warlord video. It depends on what we're doing and what is planned, because it's the end of Season 1 so far. And we have to figure that out. And same as Lord of the Rings, we're getting closer to end of Season 1 soon, in a couple of months, I think, in 1 or 2 months. And we'll be able to do that as well. So keep a watch, folks. And also, I want to thank my sponsor of this video, Bluestacks. That's right there, Bluestacks. Not only do they have Lord of the Rings that you can play directly right off of your computer, right on a web browser as well too. You can actually be able to play multiple mobile games, be able to save your phone from being constantly being used, and play as 2 games at once, because you know that's the life, playing 2 games at once, or being able to text your friends while you're able to play without interrupting gameplay. That's one of the biggest 2 things. If you want to see all the games that I recommend playing on a mobile game, go down into the link below in the description of the video. I have tons of games that I recommend, that I played, that I like. If you guys want to see any of those games actually reviewed, or I think some of them, no, I don't think I've reviewed all those games. Just let me know. I'll create a review video so you guys can see how that is. Again, thank you so much to everybody, my sponsors, my supports, and all that stuff. And of course, my biggest support, you guys, the viewers, and you guys, the subscribers. Thank you so much. I hope you guys leave a like, subscribe, follow, do what it must. I'm still going to make videos, and I am very happy to be back with you guys over here. Thank you all. God bless everybody, and you all have a wonderful day. Bye.